All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome. We've got a rally today in crypto. Yes, across the crypto sphere, we do have rallying Dogecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, a bunch of others. We're going to look at all of those today. We're going to look at the charts, see what's going on. Well, why the rally? Everybody's asking, why did it rally? So we're going to talk about that as well. And I will probably be repeating myself because I'm starting early today. Starting early, and others will come in later and they'll ask the same question. So we'll cover it again, but maybe I'll give a little bit new perspective each time. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, that's bound to happen for all of you that are here on time as I'm starting now. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. And is this rally sustainable? It's still August. It's still summertime. It's still bear market overall. Nothing's changed there. But what we do want to know is, are we going to go back into the sixes for more buying opportunities for Doge? And does that mean Bitcoin is going to see, you know, the big capitulation? And everyone's been talking about like we'll take another look at it. Someone else today said, I told you this is what's going to happen. And it's just like, oh, okay. So you guessed right. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows. So we're going to talk about all of that. Let me drop down here in the corner. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi, Hussein. How are you? Gassan, hello. The goat. Sure, I'll take it. I'll take it. Nathan, I hope it's a fake out. I need to fill my bags. Well, I've got a red line on here. I'm going to talk about that as well. What is this red line doing on Chris's chart? Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I did a thing too. Oh, Ryan, no, that's Crypto Dogs saying you can't say that. That's Crypto Dogs. When Crypto Dogs comes in here, he's going to say the same thing. You can't steal it from him. You can't steal it from him. 72 cents. I talked about that in this morning's video, Dusty. I talked about 72 cents in this morning's video. Did you watch that? That was another good video. Another good one. Low boy, hello, hello. William, how are you? Welcome. I can say good morning to you. Good morning. Hope you survived all the rains from Lulu. Hawaii got hit hard. There's no doubt about it. But I think you were up further over to the northwest, so I think you did all right. Hello, DM Trevi. How are you? Dusty, I'll go watch. Yeah, you can watch later. You can watch it later. It's a video that really isn't so time sensitive in terms of like what's happening right now, but I did cover that sort of overall view of Dogecoin a little bit as well. Mizda, how are you? Always with you guys. Yes, Davin, hello, hello. Jason, yes, a green day today. We can celebrate a green day. The question is, does it stay green? And does that continue? We're going to talk about that. Psych Sparrow, hello, let's go. Yes, yes, yes. Music and things. Hey, welcome back. How are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, all is well here. All good. And I have, since I'm not working anymore, the job, not working for a company anymore, I'm working for myself. And so I can just come on early whenever I want. And today's a good day. Today's a good day. I did hang out a little bit over on Tom's channel earlier. He had a special little Bitcoin pumping live stream. So I watched that. And now he's talking about the Fed minutes. And I'm just like, Fed minutes? Okay. But he'll probably be doing a lot of charting as well. But I thought, hey, I'm going to come on and spend more time on Dogecoin because he's probably not going to talk about Doge today. But we'll cover the things here that he would cover. We'll do that here. Joanna, how are you? Yuppers, it was hard. You were out of power for 2.5 days. Yeah, the island is like that. I get it. I lived in Guam for a while. I remember. Typhoon will come through Guam, and then I was without power for over a week once when I lived out in Guam. So yeah, I know that well. Hi, Doug. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Bought a house, was wrapped up with it for a while. Now things have settled, locked in. Florida's treating you well. It is. Florida's good. It's hot this week. We've got like record heat index, which is the temperature with humidity factored in, and it is it's hot. But I'm here in the AC, just cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber. So here we start with Doge at 722 right now, 722. When I made this morning's video, we were just about here, 704, 705, and it looked like Doge was trying to move up, but it was slow. But we did have a little run up to like 706, 707, and it sort of leveled out. And then right after 10 o'clock, boom. So yes, Ryan, that was the crypto dogs were booming, big candles here. So this was not a Dogecoin-led rally. No, this was not Dogecoin leading the way. That, I think, is still going to come. That's the whole meme coin thing. That's going to happen. But that wasn't today. Today was not led by Dogecoin. Today was led by Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, 67 was my target here, the yellow, and it just blew right by that. We'll look at moving averages and all of that stuff too for Bitcoin. Bitcoin came all the way to 69.6. And then that was about the end of that big candle that came up, and it wicked back down pretty quick, taking out, of course, billions of dollars of leverage. We'll look at that as well. We do have the CoinGlass liquidations are live right now, and we've got the pinger on. I think I've got my volume up. Yep, got the pinger on. So when there's any big liquidations, we'll see. But right now, most cryptos are moving back down and taking out long leverage traders now. Long leverage traders. We'll look at Zcash as well, because Zcash is almost closing in on Doge. So yes, Trump speaks at 2:30, of which I've already predicted, and I said on Tom's channel in the chat there that he's going to dump the market. Trump is going to dump the market. So we'll be live for that as well, as Trump dumps the market, because he's going to say something that just like he always does. Kronos, what's up? Hello, hello. So Bitcoin led the move. ETH took over, though. ETH up over 9% today. 9% on ETH. As ETH went up over 2,100, now sitting at 2,080. Here's the 2,000 ETH line right there in blue that we were targeting, and ETH has come over it. So ETH very strong. And we've got Solana back over $80. That was the target for Solana. And so again, we're going to see whether these hold as support for these. The ETH one, I got to turn back into yellow. I had the wrong color here. Just so we're consistent here, that yellows are here. So we have ETH to over 2,000. We've got Solana over $80. And then XRP escaped its $1 magnet, just like Dogecoin escaped its 7-cent magnet. XRP's was the dollar, which is red here, and came up to about $1.07, which is a 7% gain, right? Goes up 7 cents from $1, 7%. Now down to 1.056, so it's 5.6% now, as we're starting to see a little weakness in XRP, as well as Doge. So what did Kriss do today? Well, you see that red line right there? I sold some Doge. Oh no, Kriss sold Doge. Did Kriss sell some Doge? Yes. As I have been saying, pretty much for the last month, that if Dogecoin goes on a run, this is still a bear market, in my opinion. Still a bear market. And I don't think any pump is going to be sustained. This is just me. I've been watching Dogecoin for almost 6 years now. And I've seen this happen again and again and again. And so today, when this was happening, I said, well, I have to back up what I say, right? And not just be one of those on Twitter that says, see, I told you so, but actually trade it with real money. Trade it with real money. So I did that. And I sold up here at 7,337. I didn't get the top. It was moving up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take some, well, it wasn't a profit. It was actually a loss. So what I sold was not the crypto that I just bought on Robinhood for under 7 cents. This was the Coinbase crypto that I bought. 400,000 Dogecoin. 400,000 Dogecoin. Over on Coinbase that I bought like 8.6 to 8.8. I made 2 purchases there back in June. And it's like, that is the Doge I'm going to sell, and I'm going to sell it for a loss so that it can offset future gains. And that's what I did. I will be able to, Ryan, don't give him any credence, okay? So I've basically going to buy back in at 7 cents. I'm going to buy this back in, the 400,000 Doge. In fact, I'm going to have more than 400,000 Doge. I'm going to have 440,000 Doge or something like that. It's going to be a move that's going to get me an extra probably 40,000 Dogecoin by just doing this swing trade, buying back in below 7 cents. Now, is it guaranteed Dogecoin is going to go back below 7 cents? Me, I've already said first week of September, I'm expecting another drop because that's what's happened every September over the past number of years. And we've looked at it on the charts before. Beginning of June, beginning of July, beginning of August, and beginning of September. Where did I buy Dogecoin at 6,767? Well, I didn't get exactly that price. That was the bottom. But that was the beginning of August, right? And then we had beginning of July, we had a big dump. And I'm predicting September as well. And I'm going to buy this 400,000 Dogecoin back somewhere down here. That's what I think is going to happen. Do I know for sure? No, there's a risk, but there's a risk with everything related to crypto and crypto trading. But I'm backing up what I said. When you see something like Dogecoin go on a big run, it doesn't hold during a bear market. And I still think we're in a bear market. So I have sold some Dogecoin right there. Right now, Dogecoin is actually And this is a 30-minute chart. So for the past hour, Dogecoin has actually moved back up from just below 720 up to 724. So it's not like Dogecoin is just dropping back down very quickly. Doge is actually kind of holding its own right here, right above 7.2 cents. So let's mark that right now. Let's mark 7.2 cents here. And this is just short term. This is a short term little thing here. And we'll just mark that on the chart. And we'll see in the short term whether that is whether that's a support line that's going to hold. So we'll watch that. So that's what's going on with Doge right now. Now, what happened today? Why did we have Bitcoin have these big green candle? Why did we have ETH, big green candle? Why did we have, I mean, even Cardano had a big green candle. We looked at Solana. There's Litecoins. We looked at XRPs. Again, we can look at any of these. They're almost all the same with the crypto market. Why did we have the big green candle today? Well, let's start. Total crypto market cap. Crypto's up today, right? Bitcoin up 5.6, ETH up almost 9%, BNB, XRP, Solana, like everything is almost everything is up. Zcash up big, almost 10%. So broader crypto market still sits at roughly 50% below its all-time high of about $4.8 trillion that reached back in October 2025. So today's a good day. We're still overall total crypto market down still over 50% from its bull market high from last October. Of course, that's when Bitcoin was at its peak. We know Doge did not go higher than the December 2024 high. So all of that happened today, but we added $113 billion today to the total crypto market cap. So it was almost across the board, crypto going up. Liquidations is one thing. Today's short liquidation was the second largest in crypto history. The second largest in crypto history for shorts. It's interesting that the most shorts taken out for crypto happened on October 10th. But you say, but Kriss, October 10th, we saw a big dump, right? That was the most long leveraged liquidations ever. And that is correct. On October 10th, we had both. The most long leverage liquidations ever taken out, over $20 billion. But they also took a lot of the shorts out because what happened? After a while, the price was going down and a bunch of latecomers came in and were shorting the market, thinking it would go down lower, and the market actually recovered back up and took out $2.5 billion of shorts on that fateful October 10th. So kind of interesting. But today, $1.74 billion in shorts liquidated today. And this was I was on my phone at the time and I was like, look at this chart. Because this has been the longs and the shorts for the past 30 days, which has been relatively quiet. And we've talked about open interest and futures trading and all of that being pretty quiet. Well, look at today. Just huge. Over $1 billion today. Over $1 billion taken out today. So you look at the markets and you're like, yes, this big run here. That's on a 30-minute chart. We can look at like the 4-hour chart and you can see like that giant green candle. That's enough to take out huge. And we'll look at the heat maps. We'll look at the heat maps in a little bit. But that's what today was a chance for the market makers to pump crypto, and take out the shorts, which we talked about just the other day during our live stream. We talked about that and how many shorts there were up there. And today was the day to take those things out. So what happened? Well, this morning, the U.S. Treasury, yes, the U.S. Treasury announced that it's going to double the size of long-term U.S. government debt buybacks following the rapid surge in U.S. Treasury yields. The bond market was going up. So the Treasury is basically saying, we're going to go from $2 billion to at least $4 billion of repurchases. The move is intended to provide liquidity support for bonds that mature in 10 to 30 years. As the U.S. total debt nears $40 trillion, that is going to happen probably in about a week or two. I haven't done the math specifically on the projection, but the U.S. debt's going to reach $40 trillion. It's not going the right way. It just keeps going up. With that, I mean, where does the extra $2 billion come from? Where does the extra $2 billion come from? It's not just laying around. They're going to print it. It's more inflation. That's what it is. It's more inflation. In order to keep the bond yields from continuing to rise, the U.S. Treasury is basically inserting itself to stop the bleeding. We talk about like the Fed doing quantitative easing, but this isn't the Fed. This is Bessent, the Treasury. This is happening on the Treasury side. And they're just going to, money's just going to come out of thin air. Just come out of thin air. But this announcement is what keyed the Bitcoin rally. And as Bitcoin started skyrocketing, so did the rest of the crypto market. So that's what we got. We got Bitcoin going all the way up to 69.6. It's now at 68.2, and we're trying to figure out whether that was it. And is it going to be able to hold this higher price? Dogecoin came all the way up to 7.4 cents and is right now at 7.25. So Dogecoin is kind of making a decision here on whether it wants to hold 7.25 or not. So we'll watch that. Meanwhile, what else happens when you get a bit of news like this, right? This news comes out. How does that cause the crypto market, particularly Bitcoin, which had minimal to no volume at all going on? Where does that big green candle come from? Well, I'll tell you. Buying. Binance bought 37,000 Bitcoin. Coinbase bought 19,000 Bitcoin. Bybit bought 9,700. Wintermute bought 9,500 Bitcoin. OKX bought 8,000. Kraken bought 6,905 Bitcoin. This was a coordinated manipulation to liquidate retail. Yes, my friends, guess what happens? Guess what happens? The exchanges and their market maker friends come in and say, this is an opportunity to take out the shorts. And what do to take out the shorts? They buy big, led by Binance. Now, who says Who says that Binance doesn't manipulate the market? Does CZ say that? Look at this. Here it is. And here's the proof. Binance hot wallet, 37,296. 37,000 Bitcoin. Why would they be buying Bitcoin? To raise the price. $2.4 billion. And do you know why they do that? They do it to take out the shorts. Over $1 billion in shorts taken out today. The second most in the history of cryptocurrency was today on the shorts. Over $1 billion in shorts taken out. So there was news, right? But the news wasn't the whole story. The news was the trigger. The story is over here. Binance and the other big exchanges buying for the price to go up. And as Bitcoin goes, so goes the rest of the crypto market. So the whole crypto market went up. And it took out the shorts. Took out the shorts. Are they investing too? Maybe. Maybe. But the goal was really more to take out over $1 billion of shorts. Because that's money that eats right into their profits. $1 billion. And they all work together. This is a coordinated event that happened. Coordinated event. All today. Binance, haha, exactly, right? Right, Manuel. There it is. You're short from 68K. That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. I don't know what your liquidation price is, but we'll see if that holds on. You think we're going down to 45K? I wouldn't be waiting for that. I wouldn't be holding my breath for 45K. I'd be buying DCAing if you're buying Bitcoin. But you know me, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm buying Doge. And Doge is actually showing a little bit of recovery strength right now. Now I'm up to 7.26. 7.26 for Doge. So Doge is not retreating all the way back down very quickly. So, yeah. Yeah, how about that, right, homegirl? $2 billion. Because they can do it. They've got the money. They've got the money. So they just buy. I mean, even Coinbase, $1.2 billion to buy 19,000 Bitcoin. Coinbase is in on it too. So they're all buying. They were all buying today. My dream is to be a Doge whale someday. Well, Tether auditor, it just takes capital and coin count. The capital to get the coin count, which is the move I made today, was to increase my coin count. Did I do it right? I don't know. But I sold a bunch up here. I sold 400,000 Dogecoin right here, where this red line is. And I plan on buying that back down here below 7 cents. I don't know if Dogecoin is going to come all the way back down here, but I give it 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks' time, we'll be into September and we'll see what's going on. So this is a swing trade. Sold there, and we'll buy back in lower, and I will increase my coin count probably by another 40, 50,000 Dogecoin, something like that. That's That's my goal on that. Resetting that 400,000 Doge purchase that I made back in June, resetting my my start point on that. So that's what this move is right there. What else is going on? FOMC minutes. Tom just covered them over on his channel. I don't know if it was hawkish or dovish. I'm guessing by these green candles here that there was nothing really hawkish in there because nothing is going back down. I mean, ETH was sort of topping already. So ETH has a red candle now on the hourly, but everything else is looking green on the hourly chart right now. So we have Doge actually looking pretty good right now. Looking pretty good. Has the bottom been found? We don't know. We don't know. That's what I have, this little orange dotted line here at 7.2, which is sort of the short-term support. But if Dogecoin falls back below 7.2, there's really nothing to save it until we get back down to 7 cents. So I still think we're in an overall bear market. Today was a nice little bull run, a nice little rally. But again, manipulated to take out shorts. And I still think we have some buying pressure here. But I think over the next 2 weeks, this is going to fade away and we're going to be back down. We'll see how it plays out. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's my guess on how this is going to play out. Meanwhile, over on the stock side, Kriss had some Moderna. I did have Moderna stock from a couple years ago that I bought at like $66. Moderna, working with Merck, looks like they have they've got a targeted new cancer treatment. Merck has Keytruda, so you keep the Keytruda going, and then you add the Moderna piece, and in trials, that's actually looking good. And what Moderna can do is they can create a targeted treatment per individual, which is a new thing. I don't know what that means long-term for Moderna stock, but my $66 stock that I bought, I sold up here at 147. They were 3 big green candles this morning, and then I sold. So I took my profit up 130% in a day. But look at it, now I'm up to 153. So it's up over 140% today. And Moderna, the stock is still staying strong. So I don't usually invest in biotech companies. I did have an AstraZeneca swing trade that I did a couple weeks ago that was successful. I made money on that. I made money on this. Nothing wrong with booking profits. So I booked the profit. I don't know what Moderna stock is going to do from here. I mean, we go back in history and we can see Moderna actually went up into the 400s, but that was back in COVID times because they had the mRNA, vaccine, and Moderna was doing great with that back in 2021. This is a new thing where Moderna still has their COVID vaccines, but now they've got this cancer thing they've been working on, and it's looking very promising with the trials. That could be huge for Moderna. I don't invest long-term in biotech companies. I don't trust them. To be honest, I don't trust them. So I'll book the profit. I'll book the profit. No, they're not cancer vaccines. This is a targeted, this would be a targeted treatment per individual based on their tumors. So it wouldn't be a vaccine to prevent, but it would be what could possibly become in the future curing cancer. That's the big news. Be curing cancer. And it would be targeted per individual because everybody's different. At least that's what I read this morning. So again, I own the stock, sold the stock, I took the profit. Was I too early? Yeah, probably. Probably too early, but that's okay. A win is a win. I'll take it and I'll move on. But I just wanted to say that. So why so early? Mamba, again, it's like if you take the profit, you don't know. There could be a piece of news that comes out tomorrow that questions this thing and the stock dips back down. Like anything can happen. So I just wanted to point that out, that was a successful trade for me on the stock side. Nothing else really going on except House of Doge did a nosedive down to 41 cents. Now it's up to 43, still a 13% drop on the day because they've got no profits. They've got no income. House of Doge still is not doing anything. So, oh no, the stream, why so early? Gotcha. Why so early? Because we had a rally today and it's still going on. Dogecoin is moving. And I wanted to be here while it was moving, not when it was already dead, if indeed that's the case. But right now, we still have Dogecoin moving. So, and the pinger is going off. Maybe these are late coming shorts that now prices are going up and some more shorts are getting taken out because people just can't resist doing a leverage trade. Do I have a plan if the bottom is in? Buying on the dips. And that's for September and October. So we'll see where we are. We will see where we are. Kriss just said Dogecoin was going to die. No. But I still think I still don't trust the rally. I've been here before. I've seen this happen many times during a bear market with Dogecoin. That I think we're going to be back down here. So, the schedule is still the schedule. Typically 4:00 p.m. East Coast time is when I start. But today I started early because we got a rally going on. Am I fine with it either way it goes? Well, I would like to get more coin count, so I would prefer to see Dogecoin dip back down into the sixes. That's what I would prefer to happen because I still have a lot of cash on the side, have even more because I sold Moderna today. And so I want to buy more and I want to have a bigger coin count. So I would prefer to see Dogecoin go back down. Plus, because I'm predicting it, I always like to see my predictions actually come true as well and not believe this rally. But that's just me. I've seen it way too many times before, which is why I give it 2 weeks. Right? Let's give it into the beginning of September and then see where we are then. And I'll reconsider. If we're into the beginning of September and Dogecoin is up at 8 cents, then it's a different ballgame. It's a different ballgame then. I just don't trust this is going to happen. But right now we're rallying at 728 now. Dogecoin is continuing to show strength. Volume is down. So I got the volume on here, and that's still down from the big move this morning. But there's more buyers than sellers with low volume. There's more buyers than sellers. So Dogecoin is showing green. People leveraging so fast they didn't see what just happened. I know. Or they got liquidated and they're chasing now. But they're chasing in order to start making it back whatever they lost, which is like the gambler's nightmare, right? The same thing happens when you're playing like blackjack. You get behind and then you start doubling your bets and then you get further behind. This is gambling as well, I guess, right? It's gambling as well. What do I think about Robinhood and Robinhood Smart Income? I don't know what those are, Michael. I just do Robinhood Gold and I just get the basic percent APY on my buying power, and that's it. I am not. I'm not doing more than that. Robinhood keeps sending me all of this promotional stuff for all these other things. It's like lending my stocks or crypto or I'm not doing any of that. I'm not, no. And I'm not doing any margin trading. I'm not doing any of that. Robinhood Gold gives me a nice APY. That's annual percentage yield, APY. It gives me a nice APY on my buying power. And I've got a lot of buying power right now. So I'm making a lot of money each month safely while I'm waiting for the dips in the markets. Today's not a dip day. Today's a rally day. So we're talking rally today, which is okay. Rallies can come. But I don't go into this other stuff, this other earning. I'm not doing that. I need 6 cents for max coin count. Mentally prepared. That's what I think may happen. Clarity news. No. So the Clarity Act is up for vote in the Senate September 15th. And we've already known that. There's nothing new about that. That was set a couple weeks ago. I think someone came out and said it today. Might have been Senator Lomas, but it was something we already knew and I had already talked about on this channel. So, and in fact, my overall view is the Clarity Act is going to be good for the banks, the institutions, stable coins. So I think it's priced in. Clarity Act is going to have zero effect on crypto, even though it's about crypto. All these other so-called influencers and crypto analysts and all that, oh, Clarity Act is going to be this huge thing. No, it isn't. It's not. In fact, it puts more guardrails on crypto and it helps out the banks and the institutions more than us retail traders. It's not going to pump crypto. I'm sorry, my friend. The Clarity Act is not going to pump crypto. Once you get in and you read what it says. It's about stablecoin regulation more than anything else. Yes, they talk about custody of Bitcoin and other cryptos. Awesome. Custody, that's it. That's all it talks about. Yeah. Crypto dead cat. We don't talk about dead cats on this channel. We still have a Pax cat still alive and well back in Massachusetts is the Pax cat. And we don't talk about dead cats. The crypto casino. That's right. That's right, doctor. It is. It is a casino. It's your money and you are betting on prices going up. So, yeah. I don't know about 0%. Friend crypto. Yeah. But it's not going to, crypto isn't going to pump because of the Clarity Act. There might be some initial thing that happens if it actually passes the Senate. But I'm not so sure that's even going to happen. I'm not so sure. So we wait. So what's going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is still showing strength here. We go to the 200-day moving average. And here's where the 200-day moving average is, the solid yellow line here. And Bitcoin briefly came above the 200-day moving average and then moved back below. So 200 days. Now, we go back and we see what happened in May, and guess what? The same thing. And that was the top of this bull trap. The top of the bull trap was indeed the 200-day moving average. That's where it touched. And what did Bitcoin do from there? It came back down, came up, touched it again a second time before moving lower, real bear market stuff. That is the structure that we see for Bitcoin and the 200-day moving average in a bear market. So we could say that on a short term, this was indeed a small little bull trap here that we had. And in fact, we could say, well, maybe this whole move here of, well, let's do this. Let's make another one. That this move was indeed a bull trap. And the top of that bull trap there, yeah, let me pull that back down. The top of that bull trap there is just touching above the 200-day moving average. And from here, we will see what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin will come and retest it again, and then eventually go lower, which is what a lot of the Bitcoin analysts, the crypto analysts, are talking about, that believe that September and October are actually going to be much lower for Bitcoin. If instead Bitcoin comes above the 200-day moving average, comes back and retests it as support, something like this, come back, retest as support, and then move higher, that is a different story. That would show strength in Bitcoin, Bitcoin investing, and could indeed signal the end of the bear market. That kind of move would be something worth watching. Now, Ben Cowan is probably going to talk about this on his next video. That's my guess. And he's just going to say, he's not going to talk about this move up. He's going to instead say, the last 3-4 year cycles, this has happened and Bitcoin went lower because we still haven't done the full 1,065 days. To signal the end of the bear market. So that would be the low of the cycle. That has to play out. I don't know. We'll see. But this kind of move, if it indeed happens, and we have that 200-day moving average is going to keep doing something like that. If that 200-day moving average does that, and Bitcoin comes, retests, and moves higher, that's a strong move. That would be a strong move. So we will watch that. I'm not predicting this. I think it's still a bear market. So I will actually just change this to yellow because I'm not predicting that. I'm watching if that happens. My prediction is indeed going to be a rejection. And I think we're going to maybe retest it as resistance again. And then we're going to see Bitcoin slowly fade into early September and do something like that. So I think we're going to get a move down in Bitcoin back to like 63K. I think Bitcoin has already had its cycle low at 57,495. I've already called that from July. That's already happened. And I don't think Bitcoin is going lower than 57,495. Again, that's just me looking at the charts, looking at the analysis of the trading, of the interest, all of that. And that's what I see. There's still those calling for 54, 52, even 45K. And for that to happen, I think we need a big black swan event. And we don't see that right now. So that's Bitcoin. Meanwhile, Doge, this daily candle here is green. It's a nice big green candle here. But overall, we're way below the 200-day moving average, which is up here at 8.95. 8.95 cents is the Dogecoin 200-day moving average. So when I talk about 200-day moving average, that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin moves the overall market. Doge followed today. Doge has the ability to go on runs on its own, which I think we are going to see a meme coin run, maybe next winter, early spring, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that, but it's just not happening right now, nor is it nor was that what was happening today. Today was really led by Bitcoin, and Dogecoin followed. Thus, Bitcoin outperformed Doge almost 2-to-1 today. And then ETH had more strength and even went higher percentage-wise today. Hey, Khan, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome. How's it going? Hey, things are great here. I'm doing my thing still. You also think Bitcoin's bottomed. Yeah, it's a minority opinion. It's a minority opinion out there, but I've been consistent on that since July. And my analysis actually was from last November and December when I predicted bear market cycle bottoms. And I said Bitcoin would go to 57,500, and it hit 57,495. I was within $5 on my prediction. And my Dogecoin bear market bottom was 67 cents, which I still think we can go back and retest. But we will watch that. But Dogecoin is showing some good strength right now. What if it rejects and then pumps back above it? There would have to be another reason for that to happen. It's not going to trade like that naturally. There would have to be some other event to cause that to happen. So we'll see. Go Doge. Yes. Doge very strong today. Dogecoin very strong today. The market makers will send it higher when they're ready. They don't want leverage to win. Okay. Good point, Jason. So what's going on with leverage? Well, we can go over to CoinGlass here, and we can go look at our heat maps. And we can see what is going on here with the heat maps. We know on a short term, right, we have this new long leverage coming in. Someone got in early when Bitcoin started to move, and there's $260 million of new long leverage trades right here at 64.7. That's where the big one is, right there on Bitcoin. 64,700. So we're now over 68,000. So that would have to be a $4,000 drop in the price of Bitcoin to liquidate that new Bitcoin long leveraged trade there. Well, number of trades, all adding up to $260 million. So, yeah. That's what the heat map shows us. Now it's getting shorted as well. 69.1, 69.3 are liquidation prices of some big shorts. $139 million, $163 million right there. That's pretty close. And to take those shorts out, Bitcoin would not have to go as high as it did earlier today, to like 69.6. So kind of interesting. That's what the traders are doing today. Some got in early, placed some big Bitcoin bets on leverage with liquidation price at 64.7. 64.7 right there. We can take a quick look at Doge's heat map. There's still some big long leverage down here, but there's some new shorts that have come in that don't trust Doge. Over $1 million at 7.4. Oh, that's 7.44. 7.41. There's another $1 million. 7.41. Yeah, there's like $2 million right there, and another over $1 million there. So there's some big shorts coming in on Dogecoin. These long leverage traders that are new, these are the optimists that come in, and they're the latecomers that are more susceptible to getting liquidated. Yeah. We had a lot of Dogecoin shorts taken out, but nothing like what we saw on Bitcoin today. But Dogecoin is still at 7.27 and still is holding up very well today. We can even zoom in like on a 5-minute chart. You can see Dogecoin is still doing well. So overall, crypto shorts were over $1 billion today. Over $1 billion, as I pointed out over on X. I made this X post earlier today, just before 1 o'clock p.m. Over $1 billion. For $1 billion in shorts liquidated. That was pretty big. What about House of Doge? Well, William, I mean, they need to start making money somehow. Otherwise, the stock will just continue to crumble, as we saw today. As we saw today on House of Doge. 42 cents. 42 cents on House of Doge. That's bad. I've got 1,000 shares of this, so that's now worth what, $420? Yeah. From about $1,000, little over $1,000 investment. Yeah, I don't like being down over $500 on something. But it's small percentage-wise. It's so small compared to the rest of my portfolio. But I'm supporting the House of Doge. I'll keep my 1,000 shares. I'm not going to buy any more because it can still go lower. They've got to release such pay, and they got to get out there making money. They're spending money right now. They're doing these sports teams, like mid-level Euro sports teams. They're buying. I think the guys are just having fun, to be honest with you. They made all their money on their fintech company that they had before. But yeah. You're doing well, Con. Great. Getting fit, always good. Me as well. Exercising, doing well. Buying crypto dips. Me too. One Lambo. A Lambo passed me on the highway the other day. I don't know if you saw that post that I made. Lambo followed by a Ferrari. It's like Florida, right? Just driving down the highway and this Lambo goes by. I'm getting my camera ready. To take a picture of the Lambo, and this red Ferrari's coming right behind it. If you guys haven't seen this, this is really something. And I was just like, wow, look at this. This is pretty cool. Where was there? It is right there. And then this red, it looks like an F8. It's I think it's something a little different than an F8, but it's like this Ferrari. I'm going to take a picture of this white Lambo that's up here. There's this white Lambo. And then this Ferrari shows up, and I'm just like, whoa, look at that. It's like, that's life in Florida on a highway. You're just like, so much money down here. It's just like, God. Oh, that's a pretty sweet car, that Ferrari. A pretty sweet car. Don't forget to smash the likes, everybody. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Put your questions in the chat, Q&A. And then, yeah, in a little while, I'll sort of go over the day's events again for those that have come in. Will, don't think the bottom is in yet. We'll see. We'll see. Been buying Link, Ondo, and ETH. Not a bad portfolio. Not bad. Link has been going up. It's at $10 now, but Link had already been going up. So Link had been already on an upswing before today, showing good strength for Link. I don't really follow Ondo that much. Ondo was kind of bottoming down here at about 32 cents. Yeah, and that same from last Saturday, 32 cents. Again, this is a shorter time frame, but Ondo showing a little weakness right now. Not holding the gains like Doge is. The Trump announcement. Going to dump the market. Yeah, that's what I said over on Tom's channel earlier. If you were on Tom's live stream, I typed that into the chat. Trump is going to dump the market. We'll see. Kriss out there racing. I know, right? Me and my Toyota RAV4 taking on the Lambo and the Ferrari. I, of course, let them go, just, yeah, I don't need to be racing them. Maybe another day. Can't wait for 2036 when the Lambo's fight. Inflation, right? It's like, who cares? Woo! Let's print some more money. Woo! Let's buy a bunch of our bonds. Woo! Just making money out of thin air. Just whoosh. Oh. Gonna buy more XRP. You got Brad garlic breath. Brad garlic breath. Well, Philip, XRP, as I said, you can make money on this, but man, it's been hugging $1 for a week. It's been hugging $1, but every time it dips below, it gets bought back up 4 times. We've had dips below $1, and it got bought up each time. So big green candle goes back to where this was on the 4th of August. So rolls back a couple weeks. But again, I don't give this a lot of confidence. It'll be interesting to see whether this comes all the way back to $1, or do we instead see something that maybe goes about halfway and then kind of evens out at $1.03 or so. We see that a lot when you get these big moves up. You see it retrace about half of that move. And so that is the move right there. I'm disappointed MicroStrategy hasn't amplified with Bitcoin price. And Tether Auditor is right. What do you mean? MicroStrategy went up over 10% today. And that is correct. MicroStrategy is up 12%. Big move today for MicroStrategy. So Bitcoin is up, MicroStrategy is up more. I was just talking about MicroStrategy this morning and saying I'm not buying any of this because they're going to keep selling more MicroStrategy in order to keep Stretch buoyed back up to 98 or 99 to 100. But Stretch can't even get back to 96. It's hit 95 now. So we're there in the 95, just like we were back here last week, but it's not holding. 95 is as high as it's going. And so with that, sailors are going to sell more MicroStrategy stock to try and get this thing back up to 98, 99. So, but yeah, big move on MicroStrategy today. Of course, we look back in May, MicroStrategy up was like $160. Now it's just getting back over $100. So MSTR is still down quite a bit, but a 12% day today, not bad. Now, was anybody buying MicroStrategy on the dips here below $100? Because you're making money if you did. I still think there's going to be weakness in MicroStrategy. I still think we're going to see that. And for those coming in now, we talked about Moderna earlier. The big move today, 140% on Moderna stock. Talked about that earlier. Look at Dogecoin. 728. Dogecoin is, look at the 4-hour chart on Dogecoin. That's looking mighty fine. The Dogecoin chart. Crypto dogs, how you doing? Yeah, we're booming. Booming. And Ryan says no. We're waiting for crypto dogs to show up. Dogecoin moves 3% for the first time in a year and people start grifting again. Grifting. Nobody's grifting. No. If you've been watching me, I've been very consistent about what I've been talking about. So I just start my live stream a little earlier. That's all. Hey, Chuck, how are you? Yes, early crew. Started early. Since we got stuff going on here, there's a lot to talk about today. Doesn't seem to be going really up until it's 30 cents. Just look at the calendar. Where are you? That's all I have to say with that. Trump is speaking. Mars is watching. I'm not going to play the Trump speech. I don't know. Is it something that's live? Is it something that's live?
We're liking Trump a lot more because I was in favor of it. They were against it, and they became very much in favor of it. But by that time, it was too late. And besides, those days are all over. That was a terrible period of time for a lot of very good, very honorable financial people. On day one, we fired Joe Biden's rogue SEC chair, Gary Gensler. I think we like Paul better. Do we agree? We like Paul better? Number one, he's smarter. He's also smarter, by the way. But we fired him. We got him the hell out of here. We terminated the so-called Operation Choke Point 2.0, which is what the name of their operation was, weaponization. And we ended the war on crypto once and for all. And it's been booming. It's been doing big. And nobody's been able to break in. China would like to break in. They're still trying, but they have been able to. I signed a historic executive order banning any attempt to create a central bank digital currency. We launched Project Crypto to modernize rules so that our financial markets can move into blockchain technology. I established the United States Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, making Bitcoin a permanent asset of the United States Treasury, which has turned out incredible.
1 minute chart on
I
Bitcoin.
also created the United States Digital Asset Stockpile to hold custody of all other digital assets, and that's exactly what it's done. It's been amazing. 1 year ago this summer, I signed landmark legislation known as the Genius Act. I named it after myself. I didn't want to use my name, so I just called it the Genius Act, paving the way for widespread adoption of dollar-backed stablecoins. And that's worked out very well. Every single American benefits enormously from our country's status as the financial center of the world, and we want to keep it that way. We're leading by leaps and bounds. We've gained so much in the last 16 months like nobody can believe, actually. Not only that, but we have more money being invested in the United States than any country at any time in history. Money's coming in by the trillions. Our nation's economic dominance drives trillions of dollars in investments, creates millions of jobs, and expands access, credit, and capital so that every citizen has a chance to achieve what we now hear a lot about, the American dream. Young people are looking for the American dream. They weren't thinking about that 2 years ago. New financial technologies are extending this American dominance into the 21st century, and that's why we're focused on creating a clear regulatory framework for pioneers and builders like the people that are with me here, so that they can do business with confidence on American soil. They don't have to go to other countries to do their business. We're ensuring that America remains the undisputed leader, not only in Bitcoin and crypto, but also technologies like prediction markets, artificial intelligence, and much more. And we're leading in every single one. And I will tell you, the AI, the artificial intelligence, we're way ahead of number two. Number two is China. And I never want to underestimate China, but right now we're way ahead. President Xi's coming on September 24th. We look forward to it. We'll probably be talking about AI and a lot of other things, but we're doing tremendously well, largely because of people and some other friends of ours that are on the board, and they'll be here in 2 weeks, I understand. In May, Chairman Selig authorized the first ever true Bitcoin perpetual futures contract on a CFTC registered exchange, first time. I understand that Mike is also working to bring hyperliquid into the United States in a fully compliant and legal fashion. Working very hard on that. We would really like to see interest rates come down. You know, in the old days with interest rates, many of you are too young to know this, but when we announced good numbers, interest rates would go down. And the theory was because the asset value became so good, it became so prime. But now when we announce good numbers, which we're doing all the time, they keep driving the interest rates up because they're so afraid of
Those are
inflation.
probably hyperliquid shorts.
And they shouldn't be. They should allow interest rates to go down. When you announce good numbers, you shouldn't drive them up. They keep thinking that we'll drive them up to stop inflation, because success and growth does not cause inflation. Other things cause inflation.
Wow.
We inherited the number one inflation ever in the history of our country from Biden. And it lifted prices and everything else, and we're getting them all down. But interest rates should be allowed to fall with the success of our country, not rise because of the success. But we're also on the very beginning of a revolution in fictional and financial. You take a look at some of the things that are being done on a financial basis and the financial technology that's the potential to create more jobs, opportunity, and wealth for all Americans. And that's what it's doing. It's creating jobs and great wealth. And I think that can't be better seen by the stock market. So we've had 80 in a short period of time, a year and a half. We've had 80 days where the stock market hit all-time highs. I haven't looked today. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't look. I don't want to look. But I hear it's good. But we've had 80 days, Jeff, where the stock market has hit an all-time high. And nobody's ever seen anything like that. And I think bringing it down to another level, and maybe a higher level from the standpoint of importance, 401ks have hit record highs on almost 40% of the time that I've been president of the United States. And that affects tens of millions of people. The 401ks are at record numbers. So 2 years ago, our country was dead, and now our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. No other country is close, and every country will admit it. So now we need Congress to take the next step by passing the Clarity Act, a fair version of the Clarity Act, and this landmark structure legislation. It's a very, very powerful structured legislation, which will keep us ahead of China, keep us ahead of everyone else, will open the door to the next wave of innovations and innovators. So I'd like to ask Chairman Selig to say a few words and a little bit of the details about what we're doing, and then we'll follow it up with Chairman Atkins and Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, Intercontinental Exchange CEO Jeff Sprecher, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev, and Kraken CEO Arjan. So we have that all set, and let's get going. And you know what? If you want to speak for a very short period of time, that's okay too.
All right. So, well, Trump didn't dump the market. Hyperliquid. Why would Trump say that they're clearing the way for hyperliquid in the United States? Why would they do that? Trying to smooth the waters for hyperliquid to operate in the United States. Well, there's the pump. There's the pump on hyperliquid. Up 15.69% today on hyperliquid. In the top 10 cryptocurrencies, hyperliquid is still number 9. It's separating itself, though, a bit from Dogecoin. Long way to go to catch Tron. Tron didn't do much today. Tron is kind of in the red today. Interesting. Why would Tron be in the red today? Everything else is going up. Not Tron, not Monero. Interesting. Doge still squarely in 10th. Zcash is now 11th, but still $3 billion in market cap behind Dogecoin. So that's what's going on over there. Bitcoin is not really moving following that Trump speech. And Doge is at 7.25 now, 7.25. Just kind of leveling off here. So we'll continue watching that. We do have these shorts taken off, though. The Trump family put money in hyperliquid. Wouldn't surprise me, Jason. That would not surprise me. I think we just had some big hyperliquid shorts cut. Yep. Look at all the big hyperliquid shorts that got taken out in that move. These are all, I just said this will only show anything over $100,000, and look at it. Hype, all hyperliquid. Here's an ETH, $5.4 million on ETH. Somebody got liquidated big time. But yeah, hyperliquid. Just some shorts just got wrecked. Wreckety wrecked. So we'll check in on that. Where is CZ? Yeah, CZ's just hanging out. I can't believe he mentioned hyperliquid. I can't either. That came from nowhere. There's got to be, Don Jr. or Eric are involved in hyperliquid probably, making money. So yeah, I just bought some House of Doge stock. 42 cents. 42 cents, House of Doge. There it is. 42 cents. That's not a great looking chart. House of Doge. Trump says we're booming. Yep, he does. He does. I had a question, Mamba says. How do you feel about the bond market affecting Doge and crypto? I talked about that earlier here at the Kopasai letter. U.S. Treasury announced it will double the size of long-term U.S. government debt buybacks. In other words, they're going from $2 billion to at least $4 billion. This is an announcement this morning from the U.S. Treasury. So this is not the Fed doing quantitative easing. This is the Treasury just printing money out of thin air in order to provide liquidity support for bonds. So pretty interesting. So that was the trigger, I believe, in today's rally. But that's really not why crypto went up as high as it did. Bitcoin wouldn't have rallied that much just on that news alone. It was followed up by our friends at Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, Wintermute, buying crap tons of Bitcoin inflows, huge inflows, to pump the price to take out the shorts. That is what happened today. That's what happened today. Over $1 billion in shorts got liquidated, as I posted earlier on X. And as Ash Crypto says, this is the second largest short liquidation in the history of crypto, followed only by October 10th. So today was the second worst day in short liquidations in the history of crypto. Was today. I feel sorry if anybody was shorting. Good luck if you just entered a short up here. But if you had one from before, you most likely got liquidated. Last bear, the bottom for ETH and Doge was in June. Right, and we were watching that in June. And June came past. Doge has gone lower since then. Doge has gone lower. So now the Doge low is here, August 1st, 6767. This is the low for Doge this cycle, was August 1st, 6767. So, yeah, now ETH may indeed have been June. Where did it bottom out? Yeah, it was June. ETH hit its low, but just over 1,500. Hit it twice, actually. Beginning of June and late June. Sort of a double bottom. Sort of a double bottom thing here for ETH. Back in June. Yeah. ETH is over its 200-day moving average. Look at that. Big, strong move today for ETH. Bitcoin is right at its 200-day moving average, and Doge is well below its 200-day moving average. So we looked at that earlier in the stream. All of that. Now we're trying to figure out if Dogecoin is done for the day, and it's not. Dogecoin is not done for the day. Still showing good support. Right, the fake corporate arm. They're just an independent company that's using the Dogecoin name. That's all. Ha! Dogecoin to the moon. Figuratively, not literally. There are still many who believe there's going to be this Doge 1 mission next month. Guys, it's not happening. If you had heard me talk about it before, there is no Doge 1 mission to the moon in September. That's just a stupid website run by a crypto token called the Doge 1 token. They're trying to pump their tokens bags. It has nothing to do with SpaceX. It has nothing to do with geometric energy. There's no Dogecoin going to the moon next month. So, letting you know that. Endgame. What do you think? Sri, Teja, please explain what you mean, endgame. What are you talking about? I'm curious. What do you mean, endgame? 6767. You think we're going to get back there, Ryan? Are we going to get back there to those mighty numbers? Not right now. Doge is looking very strong. Doge to the moon. There you go, Con. You got it. Have you bought Dogecoin? Do you have a bunch of Dogecoin in your portfolio? I hope you do. I hope you do. I've got just about 1 million after today's sale. I had about 1.4. I sold 400,000. So I am sitting at about 1 million now. But yes, this red line here represents a sale that Kriss did right here. Because I'm doing a swing trade. And I'm going to buy back in below 7 cents. And I'll give it about 2 weeks or so. And give it about 2 weeks. So let's see if that plays out. I already hold Dogecoin from 10 cents. Holding for the next big rally. There you go. And that's about all you can do right now, right? Is just hold. Wait for the next rally. I just felt like I needed to do a little swing trade today. So not all of my Dogecoin. I didn't sell it all. I just sold the Coinbase stuff that I bought back in June. That was at 8.7, about 8.7, 8.8 in that range. And if I buy back in below 7 cents, I can take what was 400,000 and I can make it 440,000, something like that. Just in that move alone on a swing trade, I may end up, I got to look at the Coinbase fees because that's probably like 2,000 Doge in fees. I got to do the math on that. Something like that. Something like that. I have 67, 62. Well, you need 5 more. You need 5 more Dogecoin, Vista, to have 67, 67. I don't hate Dogecoin. 1 day every 4 years. Jason, 1.19. You're about to pass 1.2. 1.2 million. I'm being patient. I'm being patient and waiting to see if this comes back down sub 7 cents. But right now, looking strong. Hee hee. 6767. Ryan would be so proud of you if you just bought 5 Dogecoin. It just made it 6767. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So what else is going on in the world right now? The accounts that are arguing whether the exact Bitcoin bottom is in orders coming in October are entirely missing the larger picture. This was max opportunity for the long term. Did they say it was max opportunity? Nope. You make money by buying max opportunity, not predicting it. Exactly. Put your money where your mouth is. We don't know if these accounts are actually buying. They're just posting pictures and talking. I am always very open about my purchases and my sales, what I'm doing, and I put my money where my mouth is. That's what I do. That's what I do. So, Bitcoin, the breakout is continuing, but price is nearing the May pivot VWAP, which was resistance back in July. The VWAP. Oh, Tom didn't have the VWAP on. The VWAP from the May pivot. The VWAP as resistance. Interesting. Pick a line, any line, right? Downward trend, 200-day moving average, 20-week. Yes, the 20-week moving average also for Bitcoin. I mean, we can go to the Bitcoin chart and we can say, let's turn on the Bollinger Bands, right? And you can see that the Bollinger Bands were really, really tight this morning. Let's go to the daily. Got so many things going on here. The Bollinger Bands were tightening up. And then Bitcoin took off. Broke right out of the Bollinger Bands. Typically, when you see that kind of move, you would sell if you're a swing trader. And wait for it to come back down below the bottom of a Bollinger Band if you're a swing trader. And that can take a week or more to actually play out. But there is the 20-week moving average in blue right there. And Bitcoin has a wick that went right above it. Interesting. Interesting. The 20-week and the 200-day moving averages are just about the same for Bitcoin. Just about the same. For Dogecoin, the 20-week moving average is up here at about 8.5 cents. The Bollinger Bands today, see, Dogecoin had low volume today, or for the week. For the week, it's still pretty low. It is only Wednesday, so it can still come up a bit, but it's still pretty low. Bitcoin, more volume, percentage-wise, today. But Bitcoin's just kind of flattening out. Just kind of flattening out right now. Endgame. Just wondering if we're getting close to the final phase of this cycle. That's what a lot of people are talking about, right? It's the end of the bear market, right? When is the end of the bear market happening? And I need to see where this first week of September lands. And is there really going to be another dip this first week of September? We were looking at the Bitcoin chart earlier and just kind of wondering if we're going to see this 200-day moving average here, and whether Bitcoin is going to go above it and do what's in yellow or stay below it and do what's in white. So that's on the Bitcoin side. We're going to be watching that. So this yellow line here is the 200-day moving average. I'm extending it out to see what happens. See what happens with that. Chaos Boy, how are you? When super cycle? Doge and ADA will lead. ADA is not leading anything. Tahira. ADA is not leading anything. It may go on a rogue run every now and then, but it may also go on a rogue big drop. It doesn't lead anything. Dogecoin has been known to lead big rallies in the past. And I'm being patient and waiting for the next big meme coin rally to be led by Dogecoin. But there's no super cycle. I remember last December, people talking about super cycles. From Raul Paul to Tom Lee, it was just like, no. We were already flipping over into a bear market. No super cycle. If we were in a super cycle, Bitcoin would have followed the M2 money supply. But there's this huge divergence instead. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Bitcoin versus M2 money supply. It's this. This is from, yeah. Right, M2 money supply kept going up. This is at the beginning of 2026, right here. M2 money supply kept going up, but Bitcoin kept going down. So you end up with this big divergence here between the price of Bitcoin and the M2 money supply. So all of those that said, oh, super cycle, Bitcoin's just going to follow the M2. Nope, didn't happen. Nope. Didn't happen. So it was a nice correlation that the two of them had through 2024 and 2025. That was, let's just say, coincidental. And that was it for that. Oh, there's a word Barron Trump is watching. Whatever. Barron Trump's doing fine. He's got a bunch of money that he can play with. He's doing all right. Crypto's looking healthy today. Indeed. Indeed. And we're continuing to watch. We're continuing to watch Dogecoin at 728, holding up pretty well. Dogecoin did not come and retrace all the way back down into the low sevens. So that's pretty good buying for Dogecoin right now. Cheers, Maramello. So tired of Trump's self-propping crypto antics. I know. And now we got to wait and see what this whole hyperliquid thing is about. What is this hyperliquid thing? And what is Trump's involvement, or the Trump family's involvement in hyperliquid? There's something going on there. That'll come out. I don't touch anything related to the Trumps anymore because you're just bound to be disappointed. They're looking out for themselves. They don't care about you and me. They really don't. They don't care. So like World Liberty Finance, you have to stay away. Just stay away. So Bitcoin's going sideways right above 68,000. ETH still staying up high, just below 2,100, but still not retracing at all. Not retracing at all on that front. You can look at the big winners of today. Hyperliquid. Oh, I touched it. It did touch it. $70. did touch it right there. 2 wicks up in the last 30 minutes, above $70 for Hyperliquid. After Hyperliquid, Pump.Fun up 10% on the day. Injective, Arbitrum, ETH. The losers, the Chinese thing, Stable, Just, and Leo. What's going on with Polygon? What is going on with Polygon? And why Tron is down, I don't know. Interesting. Very interesting. Beeb is buying Givo. I'm waiting for it to go back below 50. My watch list. Givo. Wait for it to go back below $1.50. And then I will buy it. Because I do swing trade Givo. This is Beebs here. So anybody wondering what Givo is? Givo is the stock. They do, they basically do harvesting of cheap corn that they then turn into fuel. So it's a green fuel product. I don't know how big this thing's going to get in the future, but this stock has been known to pump and dump. So this was my average last time right here, and that average was at $1.49, and I sold up here at $1.81. So it did dip here on the 6th of August below $1.50, but I wasn't, I didn't trade that. It was earnings day, and it was just like, I don't know what was going to happen there. So the next move down, when it gets back down here into, let's say, the mid $1.40s, I will probably buy some more and then wait for the next run up for Givo. So I do swing trade this. I do swing trade a Givo. But good luck, Beep, on your swing trade, $1.52. $1.52. The other big news in stocks is in Zone. For those that that bought Zone before, which the name of the company is CleanCore, and they were a Dogecoin treasury company for a little while, but they've sold their Doge. They're now going all in AI. They are changing their name. They are not going to be called CleanCore anymore. The beginning of next month, they are going to be called Zone. Begin with an F. What was it called? Zone Frontier. They're going to be called the Zone Frontier. So they are going to embrace their Zone ticker on the stock exchange, and they're going all AI. So this is my average price. I own a lot of this. I want to make my money back that I lost last year. And I'm down a bit on it right now. But I did scoop some up. I bought this average down by buying down here at 13 cents. So that was a good buy. So I own this Zone. I'm going to make my money back. But yeah, they're going to become Zone Frontier AI. They're going all in on AI. No longer CleanCore come September 1st. So that'll be interesting to watch, see what happens. SpaceX still trading above its IPO price. It's trading at 138 right now. This blue line is the 135 IPO price. So just watching what's going on with SpaceX. Broadcom had a big dump today. I'm glad I closed out my swing trade on Broadcom because I would be down big if I had kept this. So I got out of that. And Megal, we're still watching. Right now trading at $1.19. Here's my average down here at $1.09. And I'm waiting for the next big Megal run. That's what I have going on. I got a few other things. I've got some GameStop. Got some XPEV, Chinese EV company. Yeah, that's what's going on stock-wise. And for those that didn't see, Moderna, Moderna is now 168. Wow, it's going up even higher for Moderna stock. Wow. No, I don't even know anything about Webull stock, nor am I going to buy it. Not interested in an exchange stock. Not interested. Had a swing trade in Doge, started in June, thought it might have a post-bear spike like previous cycles, still waiting. Yeah, that's going to be a little while. Yeah, so if you got 8-cent Doge and you're waiting for it to get back up to that price, look at this, Moderna going up even higher. It's now up 167% today. Wow. That is crazy. I remember the Trump coin. Yes. I lost some money on that. Not a huge amount, but I did buy some of what I thought was a dip, and it just kept going lower. Never recovered again. I got out of it on a little run, still under my buy price, sold for a loss. Used that to offset some of my capital gains. This was last year. Glad I got out of it when I did. And it's just continued to go down. It's just one of the worst charts ever. It's just one of the worst charts ever. It's up 4% today. But this is the weekly chart. And it just down, down, down. Now $1.47. I sold it in one of these big moves up last year. It was over $10. I remember that. Now it's $1.48. That's a bad chart right there. The Trump token. Check is still weak. Yes, it is. Are we ever going to get to 3 cents on checkmate, Chuck? It had a little run up to 16, 1.6 right here. And then came right back down to 1.3. So yeah, this thing is not doing well. But even if it goes up to 1.6, it's only there relatively short. You can't sell your whole bag at that price. That's probably why this went down so fast. It's because other people were selling and the price just got driven right back down because there's no liquidity in this thing. There's hardly any trading going on. At least right now. So I'm just going to hold. I'm going to wait it out. I don't want to sell for a loss. Doge to the moon. Look at this. About to hit back to 7.3 cents here for Dogecoin. Very, very strong. I was not expecting this. I thought it would be just sort of continue to trickle down, and it's not. It's holding up pretty well. Bitcoin's flattening out up here between 68 and 68.4, and ETH over 2,000. Yeah, I started, God, almost 2 hours ago, DB, because we were pumping, we were moving, and I wanted to make sure that I caught this during the live, and we've kept going up. We've just kept going up. Earlier in the stream, I did cover what was going on, why the big move, in my opinion, what I think happened. So yeah, DB, I if you scroll back a couple hours, I covered all that. It was really about 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in. I went into detail on what was behind the big Bitcoin move. This Bitcoin had a big green candle here. How Bitcoin moved, the rest of the crypto market pretty much followed, and now we're just kind of going sideways up here without falling back down, which is showing some strength on the move. It is showing some strength. So Doge at 7.3 cents. That's pretty strong. Pretty strong. I also covered Doge pumping this morning, the Doge move up as it was happening. Had no idea it would go as high as it did, which is why I then did a swing trade. So I have done a swing trade on Dogecoin. I now have an open swing, sold up here. We'll buy back in lower, but the Doge price is continuing to push up, which is something I did not expect. And if it continues to move up, then I'm going to have less Doge when I buy back in instead of more. I give it 2 weeks. Let's get into September and see if we have a pullback, as I've predicted for early September. You were shorting the Trump token. Yeah, that was probably an easy call right there. I think there were a lot of people doing that. But if you were shorting Bitcoin today, or just about any other crypto today, you got liquidated. Yep. Still only August. That's what I think. Ben. So Ben himself isn't bearish. Ben says history will tell us that the crypto market is bearish. Because of where the prices are in terms, compares to the moving averages. Again, I think he's going to have a video out tonight, probably. They'll probably talk about that. And then also reiterate the 4-year cycles, and that not all his indicators have hit yet, which he's expecting to happen in October. So again, that he just talks about history. He doesn't talk about the news or anything that's going on in the world. He just looks at the charts and history. That's what he's all about, which is fine. History just never really exactly repeats. So he could be wrong. He still thinks the bottom is not in for Bitcoin, and I've already called since July that I do think the bottom is in for Bitcoin. Not necessarily Doge, but for Bitcoin. It rhymes, I know. I'm just getting tired and my mouth is not keeping up with my brain. I still haven't really accumulated much crypto yet. Yeah, Gurinder, and we talked about that. We talked about early in the summer, and my strategy was going to be buying a little every month. I bought in June, bought in July, bought in August. So I've got a good chunk, but was still waiting for possibly a bigger drop because I still have a lot of cash on the side. And I also have some stocks that I'm in the middle of swing trades on. So we'll see how all of that plays out. But as of now, the crypto market is not coming right back down. So this move from this morning is actually holding up pretty well. It's holding up very well right now. History is useful, yes, but he puts 100% on the history. His whole cryptoverse, all those charts and all that, everything is based on history. Which is fine, but I just think the news will trump history every time. News will trump history every time. Many say that late move in 2022 with the FTX crash after FTX declared bankruptcy doesn't fit the narrative on many of those technical analysis charts. It went too low. Time-wise, it kind of made sense in terms of the calendar, but dollar-wise, that dip back to 115.6 was lower than many charts had shown. So kind of interesting there. But it was the news that did it. Bitcoin didn't go down to 115.6 on its own. It was the FTX crash, FTX bankruptcy, the news of that caused the crypto to go down. And nobody predicted that was going to happen, or hardly anybody. I think somebody did. Said, watch out for FTX. I do remember somebody saying that in like October and then of 2022. And then in November, I never was interested in FTX at all. I was like, no way am I investing in an exchange that's based in the Bahamas. It's like, no way. It's like all these MEXCs and all these other things, all these other exchanges that they're all, I mean, I've been contacted by all of them for me to represent them and promote them. It's like, I'm not doing it because I don't trust them. And I don't want to be the one saying to you guys, yeah, go put your money in MEXC. Go do your trading in MEXC. And it's just like, I've heard so many bad stories about MEXC, both on the liquidation side when it's not even close. You're doing some leverage trading on MEXC, and they liquidate you when the price isn't anywhere near your liquidation price, but they can do it anyway. And then what recourse do you have? There's nobody you can call. There's nobody you can talk to. It's like, no, I don't need that kind of risk. I'm not doing that. But yeah, I get these emails from these other exchanges all the time. And I'm just like, nope, not doing it. I support Coinbase. I support Robinhood. I support Crypto.com. They're all here in the United States. They all are above board doing their thing that they need to do in order to be a regulated exchange in the United States. Crypto.com, I don't have a lot on. It's mostly Coinbase and Robinhood. And that's it. I don't go trading on Bybit or these other things. Don't do it. 100% agree, especially in today's climate. Trump burps and the market dumps. Yep. It's the news. That's why I do a combination on my videos and live streams, a combination of charts and news, because the news kind of was driving things. Big red flags. Yeah. Shady industry. Yeah. Ben thought ETH was going to go to 900. Yeah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it had a double bottom at 1514 or so, right? That was the double bottom there. And it's turned around. Yeah, I had this long-standing blue line here, which was my support line on ETH. And it hit it good. It hit it good. And now it's above the 200-day moving average. That's pretty strong. ETH chart looking strong. I am still 10,000 away from my targeted Doge count. Hope price comes back below 7. Me too. I'm with you, Shaj. Hope Doge price comes back below 7 cents. But right now, it's looking pretty strong. Hi, Money. How are you? 2021 bull run for Doge had 2 big volumes, billions. The rest 2 bull runs had volume only around 140. So the 2021 stuff, I discount. I say they were overhyped. 2024 was a true bull run. It was. 2024 was a true bull run. It didn't meet the 2021 levels. Obviously, it didn't even come close. And nothing ever will again, I think, just because of how crazy 2021 was. That's my take on it. So you can still make money on Doge. It's just not going to be like the 3,000% that we saw in 2021. That's not happening again. Ben wants a sweep of 2008 lows on the stock market. Did he call that on the stocks? I think if I recall, I think he talked about the same kind of percentage drop, but not all the way down to those levels. If I recall, he was looking at like the S&P 500. He was looking at the S&P 500, and let's go to the monthly chart. And you go to 2008, right here. And I think what he said was, if you go from the high in 2007 down to the low, and it's like a 50% drop. So what he said was, okay, we will do a 50% drop. A correction is going to happen of 50%. And that would take this down to about 4,000. From 8,000 to 4,000. I think that's what he said. It was percentage based. And that would be reflective of the sort of this AI, led rally of stocks, and that would be the pullback from the so-called bubble, right? That would be big. There's no doubt that would be big. 50%. Right. And it's not going to be while Trump is in office. Exactly, Con. That's what I've said. Trump is going to keep the stocks inflated. We've had a few pullbacks in stocks. Early 2025, that was the tariffs. And then this was Iran here, early 2026. But the stock market came back even higher each time. So he's definitely propping up the stock market. He doesn't care about the crypto market. But the stock market, yeah, that's his baby. That is his baby. What happened? So, Mark, and I told everyone else I was going to repeat myself because I have been on for a long time, and now it's just after 4 o'clock. So I don't mind going through it again. If you guys have heard this before, I apologize again, but I told you I would repeat myself, and I'm going to repeat myself again. This big move here, Mark, and others that weren't here a couple hours ago, this big move here was caused by two things. Two things caused this for crypto. Wow, we're getting big liquidations going on right now. ETH, we're getting huge ETH shorts right now. Okay, I'll get you in a minute, Mark. ETH is running. ETH just surpassed its previous wick. So it took out more shorts. ETH. Back over 2,100. Okay. Just had to see what that craziness was. It's ETH. Bitcoin's still strong and Doge still strong as well. So this morning it was announced the U.S. Treasury is going to double the size of its long-term U.S. government debt buybacks. The repurchases of $2 billion will now be increased to at least $4 billion. That was the trigger. That was the trigger. Providing liquidity support for bonds because the bond market was looking pretty bad. Bond yields were going up. Didn't look good. So the U.S. Treasury, this is not the Fed doing quantitative easing. This is the Treasury coming in, and they're going to increase their buybacks. Now, we still have a U.S. debt approaching $40 trillion. And of course, the money for these buybacks is just going to be printed. It's fugazi. It's total fugazi. So inflation will go up, right? That's just what happens. Inflation will go up. So this was the trigger. However, this is not the reason we had this huge move today. Dogecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, and others. ETH is just a beast right now. No. What really did it for crypto was the trigger was hit, price started going up, and then our friends over at Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, yes, the market makers at Wintermute, OKX, Kraken, etc., started buying crap tons of Bitcoin. crap tons of Bitcoin. And when they buy crap tons of Bitcoin, the price goes up. Why did they buy crap tons of Bitcoin? Because there was enough positive news, market was going up. They wanted the price to go up even higher in order to liquidate the shorts. And over $1 billion of shorts were liquidated today. Over $1 billion, which is the second most ever in the history of crypto that's happened on a single day. Only following October 10th. October 10th is the only day where there were more shorts in dollar volume liquidated. It's October 10th. Today, second most ever. 1.7 billion shorts liquidated. And now there's even more. This number's going up. It's not done yet. The day is still on. The number is still going up. So this is what I think is the real reason we had such a big move for crypto today. It wasn't just retail or institutions buying. No, it was the exchanges in the money market or the market makers buying, inflating the price to take out the shorts. And God, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So for this being August 2026, to have this kind of move continue, this is like starting to look like bull market kind of stuff. But we're not in a bull market yet. And one day does not make a bull market either. So be careful out there. Be careful out there. But even ETH, for this move, which is now over 10%, the move's good and all, but we got a long ways to go. This little green guy right there, this little green guy, we got a long ways to go. So, but for August 2026, that's a pretty good green candle. Doge is pretty small. 4% for Doge. But that's what it looks like. I'm scared. I know. I don't know what's going to happen September or October. Don't know yet. Right now, so I drew this little orange dotted line here as a short-term support line for Dogecoin at 7.2 cents. And we'll see if Doge starts to drift back down, whether that 7.2 holds or not. If it doesn't, then Doge is going back to 7 cents. It's just, to me, that's what this looks like. What happens after they take out all the shorts? So what we would normally see would be price to settle back down, but it's not. Price started to settle down, but it turned around and came back up. Bitcoins as well. Came back into the 67s and then right back up into the 68s. So I would have expected Bitcoins to be back below 67 by now and eventually back into the 65, 64 range. But this may take much longer time to play out now. So, Matisse, how are you? Trump cares about hype now. There's some relationship there, Ryan. I'm going to see if I can find out what it is. Why would he say hyperliquid if the Trump family isn't involved somehow? There's something going on. William asked about Bitcoin crypto. Totally random, but I haven't heard or seen. Yeah, Kevin O'Leary sued him. And I believe he did not show up. And so Kevin O'Leary was awarded the judgment. I think that's how that played out. And Ben, I don't know what he's doing, but he's not being public about anything. Hopefully he's getting the treatment he needs, the help he needs, to lead a good life going forward. I doubt we'll see him in crypto again. I can't imagine. I can't imagine Ben would come back into the crypto market. He needs to just get a job. Just get a regular job and get his life back together. That's what I think Ben needs to do. But Ben is Ben. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I hope he gets the help that he needs. Is the money back in? Well, I mean, somebody's buying this stuff, right? Keeping Bitcoin up at 68, keeping Doge up at 7.3. I mean, that's the money. The money's buying this. Is it rotating over from other things? I mean, the stock market is still up. Where did we end up today? S&P ended up. Oh, S&P kind of went down into the daily close a little bit. So maybe some people were taking some money out of stocks and putting it in crypto. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, NASDAQ too had a red candle into the close of the market today. Profit taking on some stocks that were up today. Did Hyperliquid become now a speculative investment with Trump's announcement? I don't know. Trump involvement with Hyper. See if somebody's got something. Bringing Hyperliquid to the States in legal fashion. That's what he said. Hyperliquid pumps after President Trump says the CFTC is working to bring it to the US. Trump is working very hard to bring Hyperliquid into the US in a fully compliant and legal fashion. Why? Don't know. Nobody else seems to know. Nobody else seems to know. Why would he mention it? But yeah, Hyperliquid just took off over $70. So yeah, that's what we got. Don't get me wrong, happy for the pump, but seems too early to start the next bull. Might be more pain yet. Still DCA. Yes. I agree with all of that. I'm in the same boat as you. I like it. The old sell low, buy high strategy. That's what Michael Saylor does with Bitcoin. Right now, my swing trade is still good here with Doge. And we'll see whether, I mean, Doge is not quite showing the move back up here to this level. So we'll be watching how this plays out tomorrow and Friday for the end of the week. I might do a live stream tomorrow. We'll see, because I won't be able to live stream on Friday. I won't be able to do that. ETH is still strong. Hyperliquid, continuing to wipe out shorts. These are all hyperliquid. Hyperliquid shorts. Continuing. And Chainlink shorts too. Is Chainlink going up more? Yes, look at Chainlink. Taking out shorts. Chainlink hitting new daily highs. Up over $10. Those that bought into Chainlink, Chainlink's looking strong. Yeah, the shorts are just getting wiped out. So what's the latest? Let me refresh this. See what the latest is on liquidations. 24 hours. Now 181. No, shorts, 1.8 billion. Yeah, it's still going up. It was 174 before. Now it's up to over $1.8 billion in shorts getting liquidated today. Wow, somebody had a $48 million short on Bitcoin. $48 million. That's what they were going after. They were going after that. $48 million. One trade. One trade for $48 million. No wonder they all got together. You know that Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, Wintermute, I mean, they were all together. This was so coordinated, so manipulated. And they work on this together because they're all one happy family. Yeah, $48 million, Mark, for one trade that got liquidated. Bitcoin is breaking the 4-month bearish trend line. Doge holding up nice. Yes, agreed. 4 months. Yeah, you could do a trend line from the top here in May. Yeah, it already broke it though. It wasn't really a continuous line here. But whatever line it was, yes, the move today certainly broke out of all of that. Now Bitcoin is at a price that it hasn't seen since the beginning of June. And the question is, does it stay here? Does it stay here? ETH hasn't been at this level since May. Dogecoin was just at this level in July. So Dogecoin is It's not going back up to May levels yet. Not back to May levels yet. No way that it doesn't come back down a bit. I think they're going to go after and we looked at the heat map earlier. I think they're going to go after, particularly for Bitcoin, these new long leverage trades here. This is millions and millions, $260 million right here at 64,700. $260 million right there. So, yeah, the binging going on is liquidations, live liquidations. The shorts, mostly ETHs. Look at all the ETHs. Some gold. Is gold going up? Gold. Look at gold. Who's shorting gold? A lot of binging going on, yellow boy. Whoever's shorting gold, you're getting wrecked too, because gold is moving up. DXY dropped, even though Ben Cowan said that in the short term, he thought DXY was going to go higher. Nope. Lower. And then, of course, he said, oh, I'm talking about the end of the year. It's like, the end of the year? That's short term? Is that short term, Ben? I don't know. It's not looking so good on the DXY. Yeah, I think you missed that one. Yeah, Sticky just went through it again. Go back 5 minutes. Boom, ETHs. These are mostly ETHs. Just continuing to rack up. As ETH moves even higher, now over 2120. As ETH moves up higher, taking out more shorts. Yeah, low roller, Pokemon cards, sports cards, all that stuff. Sure. All of that. So you would think that I'd be making money on Spell Token. No. 2.9%. Or Checkmate. Nope. Down 3.6. So the two that I'm in these swing trades on, there's no movement at all. Nobody's buying this stuff. Bad time. Bad time to be in those low liquidity swing trades. Ah. I like the pinger when it's going up, Melvin. Squeezing out those shorts. They certainly are. Trevi, I'm reading something about Ripple integrating with Hyperliquid. No. Trump wouldn't mention it because of Ripple. Why would Ripple be involved with Hyperliquid? They do totally different things. That's somebody dreaming. To me, that's somebody dreaming. I mean, we can do Ripple Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid pumps. Hyperliquid hype. Yeah, there's no Ripple. No. Yeah, I don't see anything about Ripple. I don't care. I don't know about the crypto technology that underpins Ripple that's expanding on-chain liquidity for Hyperliquid. Yeah. Ripple adds Hyperliquid to its prime brokerage platform in first DeFi integration. Ripple adds Hyperliquid. This was February. That's old news. That's February. So I don't know what that is, but that's old news. I got hyped the other day. Mark, that, my friend, was good timing. That was good timing. And a pump like that, to me, in August, that's a time for me to maybe sell half of it and do a swing trade. I don't know. If you've got 400 of them, maybe sell 200 and keep the other 200 in the ball game in case it keeps going up. Something like that. That's what I would do. That's what I would do with this. 69. 69. It did come up above 70 a couple times today. Cards are pretty, right? Yeah, don't open the box, right? Yeah, Hyperliquid integrated in February to Ripple Prime. Yeah, we found that. Ben's saying we've rallied back to the bull market support band. Right, and we're going to bounce off it as resistance and move lower. Yeah. Bounce off it as resistance and move lower. Because we're not in October yet. $68,700 for Bitcoin. Solana is also doing well. If Solana gets up to $83, we'll start seeing some huge Solana shorts getting liquidated. It's at $82.56 now. If it gets up to $83, we will start seeing big Solana shorts. XRP is also taking out leverage up to $1.08 now for XRP. Interesting. Ben not only was wrong about the 2022 bottom, but he was also wrong about 2023. And even into 2024. He was on the sidelines and he was missing big crypto rallies because he didn't follow his own advice and load up at the bottom of the bear market at the end of 2022. Why? I don't know. But he was sitting on cash well into 2024. I remember that. I don't know, but we're still here in a bear market overall, I think. I've bought. I got more to buy. We'll see how the next 2 months play out. I mean, October is still like the magic month when it comes to this 4-year cycle thing. And so today's run is nice, but is it the end of the bear market? I'm not ready to call that yet. I'm not ready to call that. Con besmirching the good name of Lord Cowan. And I said, I will only call Lord Cowan. I will only call him Lord Cowan again if we get a lower low in October. If we don't get the lower low in October, Kriss was right. Back in July, Kriss was right, and it's Lord Kriss. It's Lord Kriss then. I don't think Ben has the risk appetite to buy crypto. He's making a lot of money with his website and his YouTube channel, and he's putting this conference on in Miami in the fall. I will be there. If any of you are interested in the Into the Cryptoverse conference in November in Miami, I will be there. So he'll make money on that. He's doing okay, even if he doesn't make a bunch in crypto. He's doing okay. Can Dogecoin at least get to 25 cents? We got a whole bull market ahead of us. 25 cents is key. So last cycle, we had a Doge run up to like 22 cents or so. Early 2024. So, and then it went higher late 2024. So when is that early run going to happen? Next bull cycle, something we're going to be looking for. They will rip it back down by Friday. Yeah, Chaos, that could happen. That could happen. All we need is a little bad news to rear its ugly head somewhere, and the price will drop. Yep, that could happen. The bear ends one day. Maybe today's that day, or maybe not. Exactly. If Dogecoin reaches 25 cents, we'll be back equal with Bitcoin since the last bull run. Well, I mean, I'm watching the Doge Bitcoin trading pair, which were back down in the 10s. And you said December. That's up here. I'm not even expecting it to get back up to that level. My target is the blue line, 24, right here. And we're now at 10. And this is what we saw May of 2025, July of 2025, and September of 2025. And that's why I want to do my flip from Doge to Bitcoin. If it gets any higher than that, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Doge versus Bitcoin. Be a better time to flip Doge for Bitcoin if you could even go up to those levels. But I'm not expecting that probably until, 3 years from now or something. I was able to contact Robinhood support and have them sell some of my Dogecoin dust that was under one. It was driving my brain crazy. Yeah, I got some of that too. That came when they were giving out that free Doge, because I have that too. I've got fractions of Dogecoin. I ignore it, but I can understand, especially if you have a little like OCD tendencies or something, right? You've got that Dogecoin dust. I know exactly what that is. Yeah. The dust is wild. I hate it. Yeah, if you got any of that free Dogecoin, you got some dust. My bull target for Doge is a new all-time high. Yeah, I'm not looking at next cycle yet, price-wise. I've just looked at calendar so far. I haven't looked price-wise. I'm going to start doing that this fall. The Doge party. Hey, Doge gets to $1, I will host a party. That is still on the table. That is still on the table. Only this time it'll be in Florida and not Boston. Florida, which would be great if it happens in like a February or a March when it's cold everywhere else. It's like more people will come. Party in Florida? Yes. Yes. What about the Doge miner? I never got it. AlphaPex never sent it. So it's like, whatever. They would have gotten some great advertising if they had done that, and they didn't. I've lost tons in Dogecoin from flipping over Dogecoin to get my Bitcoin back. Oh. Well, if you followed me, you know I've been talking about that Doge Bitcoin trading pair and my target and what I'm waiting for. So, yeah. The Doge cruise is also easier from Florida. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a Doge. That was fun for a while. It was fun to toy with the idea, but just a party, I think it's good. Daytona weekend, sure. Yeah, I don't know where in Florida yet we would have something like that. But a Dogecoin party, Bruce is like, yeah, Bruce, come on down. Be South Florida somewhere. Doge party. Hey, we need Doge to go on a big run. And it's more than a 10x, 7.34 cents. 7.34 cents. If it does a 10x from here, it's all-time high. 10x from here, Con. 10x from here would be the all-time high. I looked at the Dogecoin mining and all the numbers on it, and I wouldn't be making money. I'd be better off. I mean, if I had to pay for the mining rig, I'd be better off just buying the Dogecoin than trying to mine it. It's just the way the numbers work. But they were going to send me a free one. And even that, with the electricity costs in Boston, I probably would have been scraping by. Now in Florida, it's a lot cheaper down here. The electricity cost is cheaper in Florida than Massachusetts. But I didn't get it. OCD Kevo. Yes, I could tell. The OCD. Atlantic side, Kevo. I'm on the Atlantic side of Florida. Maybe should be changed to a 49-cent Doge party. That'd only be like half a party, though. Not even. You need to do it big. And the only way to do it big would be $1. The true Dogecoin dollar party. 50 cents, people would be like, oh, it's a stupid 50-cent party. $1. 10x is light work for Doge. Hey, with the right FOMO, the right hype, Doge could do it. It just needs that. The miner drama, those were the days. I was all set. To heat my house in the wintertime, to help heat my house. Plug that baby in, start mining Dogecoin. You need to pay the electric for Dogecoin mining, but use solar. Well, then you got to pay for the solar. Or you get locked up in some solar contract with a company that most likely is going to go bankrupt. It's like, no, thank you. No, thanks. People are already planning the party now. It's nice to dream. It's like, yeah, Dogecoin to $1, sure. Look at this Dogecoin chart, though. Look at this. Ever since I started streaming, Dogecoin has been up. It just keeps going up. Now we're now back to the price where I sold. Yes, I sold Doge, if you didn't hear earlier. I sold Doge on the big green candle to buy back in at a lower price. And now it's toying with me and it's saying, Kriss, was that such a good idea? Was that a good idea? You shouldn't be swing trading Doge. Shouldn't be doing it. But I said, in a bear market, if Doge goes on a run, that's a good time to swing trade. Shawing. And I didn't do it. So yeah, the joke's on me. I did not buy SWE yet. No, waiting until September. I want to see where the whole market goes. But of course, now, obviously, in hindsight, after today, it's like, yeah, you had an opportunity to buy SWE. Down here on the dip, 64 cents. Had that big drop. I didn't buy. We were in that nice channel. Drop below it. Yeah. I still don't know what this thing's going to do next cycle. Dogecoin will probably outperform it. We need to get the whole Doge to $1 theme to go viral again. All we need is a bull market to start up, Chuck. Once a bull market starts up again, Doge to $1 will be all over the place. But not yet. Not yet. Because no, I mean, it's just still kind of ridiculous. Doge 7 cents still just, even after a nice trading day like today, it's still like, come on. We got many other hurdles to get over first. But we'll get there, Chuck. To the point where starting to hype Doge to $1 makes more sense. Cracking you up sometimes, Mamba? Yeah. Having my own little fun here. Trying to, anyway. Trying to. All right, I'm going to call it, guys. That's enough. Had a great run today, guys. So tomorrow, I may go live again, and we'll see how this whole thing has played out. Because I will not be live on Friday. I will not be live Friday. So tomorrow afternoon, we'll see where things are. We'll follow up. And the rest of the crypto market as well, whatever the latest news is. It's going up again. Oh, man. What the hell? All the shorts. Bitcoin, ETH, Arbitrum. Wow. The shorts. Look at, oh man, ETH just jumped. Do you see that? Wow. Crypto is just, look at XRP, just jumped up to $1.95. It's all moving up. Eat my shorts. Bitcoin 69. Look at Doge. 744. 745. Doge moving higher. Sell more. There would be a point where I would sell more, but not at this level. We'd have to go much higher on Doge before I would consider selling more in a swing trade. But look at ETH, 2,200, just like that. That's a big move. ETH now up 15%. Even Link moved up 10.5. Wow. Arbitrum was one that was just, we saw taking out some leverage trades. Those are the big ones over 10% right now. Wow. That was quite the move. Whew. Let me go live again this evening. That's quite the move there. Wow. Well, you know, handle what you can do. Doge goes to 25 cents. Bitcoin's going to be at a higher price than it is now. So Bitcoin isn't still going to be 69K when Doge is 25 cents. So, yeah. Comes in packages. How are you? Kidding, of course. Feels so likely it comes back down. You're just doing accumulation, playing it safe. Yeah, and that's what I was going to do, but this was just so juicy this morning. I was like, yeah, let me do a swing trade. And now it's going higher. Hey, Matt. Glad you could join for today. I'll probably be live tomorrow too, but we'll not be able to make it on Friday. Chuck says bear market is over. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, so we'll follow up tomorrow and try and figure this thing out. But yeah, I can't end yet. Not with this big green candle. Let's go to the 1 minute chart, right? The 1 minute chart for Dogecoin. Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe they're quieting down. That was a nice little run, though. Well, you know, we'll see where Doge goes this bull cycle, that's for sure. Doge at 744 now. That was a pretty exciting move for crypto, just right there. Especially when you expect it to turn back down and instead it goes up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, my friends. Hey, everyone have a great Wednesday night, will you? And we'll check in again tomorrow live and follow this thing up and try and figure out, is crypto starting to turn around? And could this be the end of a bear market? So we'll do that tomorrow. Remember, always hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I certainly appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.